A lot of moving parts to this story, so here we go. The Walton County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deputy-involved shooting.
We know at least 2 people, including the suspect, have been injured. So many questions this morning. Sarah Gale live in Sandestin in communication with investigators to bring us the latest. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I'm here in Walton County, and I know it doesn't look like it, but this is actually one of 3 possible crime scenes. Deputies just packed everything up, including a car that was shot at. The glass is still on the ground behind me, but the whole driver's side window was completely shattered. We'll hear from one of the drivers here in a second, but for right now, this is what we know so far. Last night around 11 o'clock, Walton County deputies were on an unrelated call when, according to deputies, one thought he heard gunshots. That deputy and 2 others rushed to the area of Heron Walk and Baytown Avenue. And there, a man carrying a gun approached and opened fire on those deputies. One of the deputies returned fire, hitting the suspect, and then they brought him into custody. Multiple cars were also shot at. Luckily, none of those people in them were injured, but we did get to speak to one of the drivers earlier about this terrifying experience.
Just got off work, was leaving the complex, and I heard one shot. He shot the guy's car in front of us, and then had the gun pointed right at us through the windshield, and started walking towards my car. I waited till he was next to my window and took off, and he shot right through the window. Almost shot me in the face. Very scary situation. Very scary. No idea who the guy was. You just tell by looking at his face, he had something on his mind, man. He was ready to hurt somebody.
The suspect and at least one other victim were taken to Fort Walton Medical Center. And during all this, the fire department responded to a car fire where they found one person dead. We do not know yet if this is connected. It could be completely unrelated, but deputies say they strongly suspect it is connected to these shootings. We're staying in contact with deputies, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Walton County deputies were on an unrelated call in the Sandestin area. At that time, a deputy heard what he thought sounded like gunshots. That deputy, along with 2 other deputies, responded to the area of Heron Walk and Baytown Avenue. About the roundabout, they were engaged by a subject carrying a firearm. That subject opened fire on Walton County deputies. A deputy from the Walton County Sheriff's Office returned fire, striking the suspect. They were able to take that suspect into custody immediately. That suspect has been transported to Fort Walton Beach Medical Center, where his wounds are being treated. Subsequent to that shooting, we started receiving multiple calls from the public in reference to potential gunshot victims. We at this time have had a gunshot victim found in the area of Baytown Wharf. That subject is also transported to the Fort Walton Beach Medical Center. We found 2 other vehicles that had been shot in the area of Baytown Wharf, in the area of the roundabout there at the Sandestin property. Those 2 vehicles shot, the people in those vehicles were not injured. At this time, we're also investigating a deceased person in the parking lot of Sacred Heart Hospital. That vehicle was discovered as part of a vehicle fire as South Walton Fire District was responding to our shooting incident. At this time, it's not officially known whether or not that fire and fatality are related to the shooting, but we strongly suspect that to be the case.
So
as of now, there is a suspect in custody. We believe there is no threat to the public at large. I say that extremely quick, responsive action by the deputies in this case, engaged the shooter, stopped the threat prior to these calls even coming into our dispatch center. I point out that the deputies heard these calls because their window was down and that they were listening. And you can't say enough of that quick action was able to stop the suspect, who again opened fire on deputy sheriffs once he saw them coming in. Now, the victim that was located at Baytown Wharf, that subject is, the injuries are, we hope, not to be life-threatening at this point. The subject, again, at Sacred Heart is deceased, and we have not ascertained whether or not this is directly related. Obviously, we believe there's a relationship, but we don't know that at this point. It's a large investigation across multiple scenes involving 30-plus personnel of the Walton County Sheriff's Office investigation, crime scene. We're working very closely with the folks here at Sandestin. This is what we know at this time. Now, as more information becomes available, we're going to release that. We'll let you know. The salient point is this: the suspect is in custody, and there's no threat to the public at large at this point.